Hi, this is Mason, and you're watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Now it's time to start the post-game show. Here's Brian.
Okay, yeah. There's one main takeaway from tonight. It's a tale as old as time. Good teams win. Great teams cover. 87-77 was the final score tonight. The Orange, incidentally, were 10.5-point dogs in this one. After all of that, they covered. So take that, Carolina. Wear it. Wear it. The Orange were down by 80 million points. And there we go. There we go. Get it back and lose by 10. Great. Just great. Just what we all needed, that Syracuse is able to do that. Yeah, they battled. What? I mean, great. You didn't give up. Great. You're down by 30. You were down by 30. You got absolutely freaking smoked. I don't know. Like, was anybody really paying attention? I mean, good for them. Like, I'd rather them do that, right, than completely pack it in. But you're down by 30. I mean, I had the game on. I was looking at the game. Was anybody, like, really absorbing what was happening there down the stretch? It's just, I know Duke and Carolina's on Saturday. If anyone didn't catch that, Duke and Carolina's on Saturday. That may have come up a time or two. And yeah, Randy, that's great. You locked in during the last 10 minutes. What about the first 30? Like, I'd say they fought pretty good there in the first 17 and a half minutes. The last 2.5 minutes of the first half turned into an absolute grease fire. Like, you had it down to 5, then all of a sudden, you're down 16 or whatever it was in a blink, and then Carolina has a huge run out of the locker room, and the game is over. So, yeah, big dip for UNC when they got up by 30 and took their All-Americans out of the game. Led to a big dip. Led to more Jay Williams freewheeling time on the broadcast to talk about whatever the hell he was. Did you hear his house used to get TP'd and then people cleaned it up? Oh, man. It's unfortunate is what it is, because in the end, like, here's the thing. If the Syracuse season wasn't going the way it was, if Syracuse was good, like, Syracuse has gotten smoked in games in years they have been good. That happens. Teams get smoked when you're good. Sometimes you have a terrible night, you get blown out. So there could have been a scenario if Syracuse was good and came into this game and was down by 30. Like, that's a scenario that exists. And if that was the situation if Syracuse was a good team and then they fought back into this and made it a game late, that would be like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's a good sign. That's something. But in this scenario, like, I don't know what that proved down the stretch. Like, it didn't prove anything, I don't think. We didn't already know. Again, Carolina took all their starters out, and then kind of half-heartedly, and then when they put them back in late, they were all out of sorts. I mean, credit to Syracuse for not totally mailing it in there, but I mean, when you're down by 32, when was the 30? You're down by 32 with 9:56 to go. Like, the game is over. The game is over. They made it vaguely interesting, but the game was over. The game was over. I don't know. That Caleb Wilson's freaking. He's nice. Him and Visar. That's a good combination. That's a good combination. Like, those two are, like, if those two play well, what they combine for? They combine for 37 and 20. That's actually less than I predicted on No Wrong Answers today. I think I had him going for 45 and 25, which if they hadn't been plopped on the bench there midway through the second half, might have happened. But yeah, it's just. And, like, did anybody really expect Syracuse to win tonight? Maybe you had a half-heart of a glimmer. And if you didn't watch any of the game, and you saw that Syracuse went to Carolina and lost by 10, I think it would be kind of been like, all right. But if you watched the game and saw that they were down by 32, it's just so hard to take the comeback part of it seriously, right? Like, great, but there's so much context around it. Like, Carolina, like, totally zoned out. Like, they were unaware it was occurring. But there we go. Link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join the show. We'll see if we hear from Red before. I don't think it's available live anywhere after this road game, but we'll try to get it for you at some point. We'll get our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game at some point. I don't even know. Like a Syracuse player? Well, they were down by 30. I was thinking of giving it to like Snow and Ice because Syracuse can push it out of the way. And when it happens in North Carolina, they freak out and go insane. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. You guys can debate amongst yourselves over the course of the show who we want to give the Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air player of the game to. Yeah, Jeff, I think that was the tough part tonight is it wasn't a lot. Yeah, you lost by 10 to North Carolina. North Carolina's a good team. Like, they're ranked, what are they ranked? 17th in the country. Are they great? No, I don't think this is a great Carolina team, but they're good. This is a good team. They're a tournament team. Caleb Wilson is a stud player. He's a top 5 draft pick. They're a really good team. He and Visar up front is a really talented front line. Their guards are serviceable and sometimes more. Trimble's pretty good. It's not an apex Carolina team, but it's a good team. Like, there's no shame in going to Carolina and losing in the Dean Dome. But you're down 32 with 8 minutes to go in the game, or 8.5 minutes to go in the game. You're down 32. Like, this wasn't 1991 UNLV. You were down 32. 32. Like, you got absolutely run off the road into a ditch. And congratulations, you got the tow truck there in time to pull the car out of the ditch and to, I don't want to say make it interesting, but you made us start looking at the TV again down the stretch. But it's tough. And here's what's tough. That's the way most of us are feeling about it. That in other circumstances, like being down, this we can all agree on. Being down by 32, never good. Never good to be down by 32. In other scenarios, if down by 32, rallying back to make it kind of interesting. What'd they get? Did they get within 7 at one point? Like, it actually got kind of sneaky interesting there for a second. Like, if that had happened in other years, this would have been, like, edgy your seat stuff. I don't know about you. This was more like, huh. Well, that's nice. Good for them. Not, like, really leaning in and getting it down. Yeah, the game really ended Super Cat. Like, they were grinding. Like, Donnie was keeping them alive on the glass. They were grinding late in the first half. When they cut it to 5, it was a game again. And, yeah, that 12-3 run before halftime, that's what ended the game. And then that continued out of the locker room. Yeah, that run before half is what ended the game. How many wins will they have before the end of the season? Yeah, there's not many more sitting out there. Like, all right, you did this today. You're at Virginia on Saturday. Good luck and God bless. Like, that's going to be a tough game. You still have this Carolina team again at home. And what do you think is more likely in the Dome? We get the thing that happened where they're down 32, or we get the magical last 6 minutes of the game where they put up a crazy, crazy run? What do you think is more likely to duplicate itself in a few weeks in the middle of a Saturday afternoon live across the country on ABC? What do you think is more likely? Duke on a big Monday. SMU, who's pretty good, coming to the Dome. You're at Louisville at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, was it a 30-5 run or was 35-10? I mean, it was an unbelievable run. Syracuse actually technically won the second half 45-41. Like, that's a crazy run. An absolutely crazy run. But to what end? I don't know. Yeah, what was that actually from Mello, Fella Ferda? I only saw that half in passing. Syracuse, I think T. Murphy is still in fine shape to make the ACC tournament, thanks to that big win over Notre Dame. He was where was it? Hang on, somebody tweeted it at me. I think let me reference my phone. Where is it? Did somebody send me a picture? Okay, so. Or it looks like Axe tweeted out. There was a post on the Cuse_MBB account. That's the official account of something. And Mello's comment was SMFH. The F is a naughty word. I need to see like this whole post. Let's do some more. Pardon me while I'm doing internet research. We gotta look into this more because that's like zoomed in a way that I don't know what Melo is shaking his bleeping head about. Where? Hey, huh. Like I don't remotely know what. I can't even find. Was that on I think I don't even know when that was. Yeah, I can't find it. When was it? Was this it? Maybe. Here? No? Okay, yeah, let's see. Let's watch this. This is on what happened here? Why was That's his response to a post of Donnie Freeman hitting a three. Maybe that was positive SMFH. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever that was. Yeah, he posted it, but it was a highlight of Donnie making a three. Like I don't know if it was the score or the. I don't. I'm not gonna read into Melo bashing the team or not bashing the team. Like there'd be a weird response at the time. Who knows? Maybe Melo wasn't even on his own account. Maybe he got hacked. Melo. Breaking news, Carmelo Anthony was hacked when it was 29-20 in the first half. Syracuse after that would rally within 5 before falling behind by 32, before rallying within 7, before settling into a 10-point loss. Carmelo Anthony hates Syracuse. Call him and ask him. All right, let's see. Do it. Let's go to my contacts. Carmelo. Yeah, maybe it's under Melo, because we type like that. I have a Mel, a professor whose name was Mel back in the day. I don't think it's his phone number anymore. But I got a Mel. That's the best I got in there. Cayenne getting 1.5 million. I have no idea. I don't know about the Cayenne NIL and who'd be paying. Of all, it's got to be the weirdest NIL case you could come up with, right? Like there's zero need for the money, but it's not really about that. I don't know. Yeah, ask Vito or Pat. We'll get them. We'll get them. All right, link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join the show today. Just for a 10-point game on the road at Carolina, like normally a 10-point game on the road at Carolina would have some debate, discussion about the basketball, about all that stuff. I'm just finding it hard to locate that here today. Like Caleb Wilson's great for Carolina. Him and Visar's a phenomenal front line. Donnie Freeman was both great and terrible equally at the same time in the first half. Like he was the only one scoring, he was the only one rebounding, he was also the only one touching the basketball. So I don't know. He ends with 23, leads the way. JJ, another inefficient shooting day. Nate George actually did some stuff, I guess. He dribbled a lot. He only turned it over twice. I'm at a loss for words about the basketball the last little bit. And I don't just mean like a little bit today. I mean, it's the last, few weeks, month. I don't know. Like the good and the bad is always the same. It's always the same. John goes on basketball trips a decent amount. Marco Zappala, was he there? Like I don't know. Like sometimes he goes on road games, sometimes he doesn't. I wouldn't read anything into that at all. I wouldn't read anything into that at all. St. John's Patina will take a run at Cayenne. Like when we fast forward to the off season, there'll be another exciting addition. Yeah. I'm dapper always, Johnny Warbell. Earlier today, if you missed live in the 315, we did our second edition of Who's Next. We'll be posting by itself exclusively tomorrow, but you can always go back to watch live in the 315 if you want to catch it as we continue to discuss who's next in the Syracuse basketball head coaching spot. We'll do another episode of that on Thursday. We did Matt Langle today. We talked about the Colgate head coach and how he might fit. Rick Pitino's on my list. Like, we'll discuss him at some point. There's no way he's going to be the Syracuse head coach that I can possibly foresee, but some people just can't stop bringing him up, though this is a much better way to bring him up. Like, this is a way to bring up Rick Pitino that actually could happen, as opposed to the other way to bring up Rick Pitino. Yeah, there's the other side. Like, St. John's is loaded, absolutely loaded for bear, right? And, they got money to spend. They have an actual billionaire spending actual billionaire money on their NIL. Yeah, Patino's 73, and I don't know. But then, Cayenne could have the same home court as Melo did. Whatever. McNamara, we already did that episode. Hopkins, that's for later, Horowitz. You hold on. I was having a little text conversation during the game with someone about, like, who's going to be back on the team next year. Like, anybody, nobody, and I don't know. Like, I could easily say, regardless of head coach, Cayenne will be back because of Melo and because, realistically, whomever the next head coach isn't going to just run Cayenne off. That would be kooky because of Melo. I could see Sadiq staying with Cayenne because they're boys. I'd like to see another year of Tyler Betsy. Why not? I'd like to see some of the guys that haven't really played come back because, why not? Get Luke Fennell around for another time. I don't know. What I do like is the idea of looking ahead is that because they keep changing the rules in the portal doesn't open until after the title game this year. Remember a couple years ago, the portal opened like the Selection Sunday, portal opened at midnight. And then they're like, whoa, that was nuts. So they bumped it back to after the first week, and they're like, that didn't help that much. And then this year they're bumping it back till after the Final Four, which, again, it's going to be the same as football, where there's obviously plenty of tampering and behind-the-scenes crap going on. Whatever. That's going to happen regardless. That doesn't bother me. Here's the main difference in football. There's much, much less of an artificial back-end deadline on it. Like, football had the back-end deadline of portal opened and then, like, classes are starting. It was a problem. And I don't know if they thought it was a problem. It's a problem. Basketball doesn't have that. Like, the portal's going to open April whatever. Syracuse, assuming they're making a change at head coach, which I think we're all going to keep on assuming until proven otherwise here. And if Red stays, the Who's Next series is going to get comically long, and I'm actually kind of rooting for that because that would be funny when we're doing it like year 3 of him just naming other people. That's neither here nor there. But if you get a new head coach in by, let's call it mid-March, whatever you want to describe mid-March as, you've got at least a chance, if you're that head coach, to get your ducks in a row with the current roster. Because you'll be able to at least get a sense of NIL. You'll be able to at least, just be with the guys. You're not going to get a new coach by the beginning of March, Bruce. The regular season, there's multiple games left in the regular season by the beginning of March. Like, you're not getting a new coach by the beginning of March. Mid-March is like, we're calling it ACC tournament ends, Selection Sunday, possibly you're looking at someone that's involved in the tournament. Like, all right, but there needs to be at least a few weeks for new coach to interact with this year's team. So there's at least I know you, you know me before decisions are made of who's hopping in the portal and getting out. I just like to say that, George Bruce, as that's like a legal disclaimer. I said it. I said just in case. It's for the lawyers in the room. Link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join the show. So I think at least this year, the way the calendar is set up, that'll at least, I don't want to say it'll help Syracuse. Let's phrase it this way. It will hurt Syracuse less. Yeah, I mean, free agent coaches. Hector Elizondo. He's been in some movies. Like free agent coaches that are good, that are actually going to get back in coaching? I mean, no. Like for the Tony Bennett crowd, for any of the guys that have the Jay Wright crowd, the Bob Huggins crowd, like, I mean, just get over it. I'll say this, Bruce. Wildhack better already be working on it. He better be making a list and checking it twice and having conversations with agents and all the stuff that you can actually do. Just to, like, wherever the Ducks are now, they need to be plopped in a row, financially and whatnot. We got quotes out there, Matt NY. All right, let me look up the quotes per WAR. That was a pretty quick presser. We might get it posted here before we're done, and we can at least play it back for you before the end of the evening. Again, road game. These things are just not available live. Well, and I think there's a little disconnect there, right? Syracuse should be a top 10 job in America based on pedigree and infrastructure. Like, pedigree's obviously great, though the pedigree outside of the Jim Boeheim years is not as existent as you necessarily would like. There were moments, but it's mostly Jim. The infrastructure is solid when you look at, like, the literal infrastructure. Like, the Mello Center is a representative facility. Like, the Mello Center is fine. The dome itself is fine. But in this current age, I think infrastructure also has to talk about NIL. And to say, like, Syracuse does not have a top 10 NIL infrastructure in the country, to my understanding. So that's a real issue. But if we rewind 5-10 years, however far you want to go back, Syracuse issues started pre-NIL. So it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. All right, red quotes per WAER Sparks. Quote, Carolina really set the tone early with its physicality on defense, end quote. Yes. Red on getting back into the game. Quote, we just played with the intensity and being more physical and more aggressive, period, end quote. Red, quote, we have a lot of guys that are used to playing with the ball. We have to do a better job on moving with the ball and making quicker decisions. Period. End quote. How about moving without the ball? Also, because there's 5 on the floor at once. There's 1 ball on the court, and it's just 5 and 1. Quote, we just didn't have movement. That's the frustrating thing. We have to be more consistent in what we're trying to do. That's what's baffling. Here is the most baffling thing about the issues recently, actual basketball-wise. I get that Notre Dame is crap. Why? I'm the one that told you Notre Dame is crap. I was right. Notre Dame is crap. But Syracuse had player and ball movement against crap Notre Dame. I get that Carolina's way more athletic and whatever, but you can still have player and ball movement, can you not? Like, they didn't even try. I don't get it. I don't get it. Oh, man. Can Mello buy a few players? That's what I have no idea. Like, I've wondered this for a while. Like, would Mello be in... Like, if I'm Mello, right? And part of your thing is you want to set up a nice situation around Cayenne for him to have success. Part of the way you could do that is by dropping some money in NIL to put really talented players with Cayenne. Now, is that some... Like, I don't know if that's Mello's game, though. Like, Mello's, he's got the money, but it's also, like... And he's already shown he's willing to support the program with it. That's why the Mello Center has his full name and middle initial on it. It's a K. I don't know. It's a lot of, they're not little things. It's a lot of medium to large size things that have all combined into this. Yeah, Boeheim, I mean, what coach of Boeheim's generation wasn't weary of, didn't want to, what coach of his age and era wanted to deal with NIL? Hardly any of them. Yeah, where's Mello at? Mello, call in. Mello, Carmelo Anthony. For you and you alone and for everybody else. The link is pinned top of the chat if you would like to join the postgame show today. Duck Hunt? Yeah, elite game. Great game. Duck Hunt. You either had the Super Mario Brothers, or you had the Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt, or you might have had the Super Mario Brothers with Duck Hunt and the track and field with that crazy pad. So many options. So many options. Well, yeah, he'll root for wherever his kid is. Of course he will, Big Tuna, but it's it's a very strange situation. Like, if Melo wants his kid to be at Syracuse, and there's a new coach that they like enough, like, Melo can use some money in there, but at the same time, like, I'm not saying it's an obligation of his to do it either. It's very interesting. What was Cayenne born when he donated to the Melo Center? Is that factually true? I don't know if that's factually true that Melo didn't have a kid. I would have been right around when that building opened in '09. This is 26. That's 17 years ago. Cayenne's 18 or 19. I don't know. But when Melo cut that check, Lala might have been pregnant. I don't know. We're just working some math here. I don't know the whole order of operations on this thing, but we're just working a little math on it. We're just working a little math on the Melo Center and the check and the whole thing. So who knows? We're just mathing it up, just straight math. Yeah, frankly, I mean, whatever that Instagram thing is, I think people are reading way too much into that. But Carmelo loves Syracuse. Yeah, he loves Boeheim. He loves Jerry. He loves everything. Carmelo's a big smiley guy. You know, Carmelo's often in a good mood. He's got thousands upon thousands of hats. He's got hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, there's so much stuff. Oh, Tarkanian did not invent paying players, Randy. How do you think UCLA got so good in the 60s? How do you think they got so good? How do you think Lou Alcindor found his way to the West Coast? I mean, people have been paying players since the dawn of time, but yeah, they gotta figure it out. Yeah, like, if I'm Syracuse, it's a weird situation, right, because of Cayenne. But yeah, I would like to put Melo in a position of, I don't want to say influence or power, but a position where he gets to be there and chat. Can I name 5 possible? Bruce, I've started at like a 15-part series on the topic. I've named 2 already, Jerry McNamara and Matt Langle. If I tell you all of them now, that could ruin the series. What you'll have to do is tune in Thursday at 11 for the third part of Who's Next? Our search for the next head coach of Syracuse basketball. Like, I got a series, there's graphics, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, Bruce. We can't, like, I'm staring at I got a list of 15 names in front of my face right now, some ridiculous, some very real. I mean, they're all real names, but some would be insane head choices, some wouldn't take it, and some are very logical. But we're going to, like, Matt Langle happened today live, Big Tuna, but here's just to take you behind the program. We did it live in the 315 today. Tomorrow, the edited down version of it will drop, so you'll be able to catch that tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to watch the whole thing. I don't want to say right now. Not right now. We're doing a thing right now. When we're done, go watch live in the 315 this morning. It is there. But yeah, we talked Matt Langle this morning. Every Monday and Thursday in the 11 o'clock hour from here until there is a new head coach, assuming that's happening sometime in March, we are dropping names. Yeah, I got names here, Bruce. I got names. You're going to have to stay tuned. That's a tease. Oh, they're good names here. Great names. Lots of names. Is the actual next head coach on this list? I don't know, but I think I've written down some very nice and good names. They're all fantastic names. I think I even spelled most of them right. Just great names. I wrote down 2 people who have the same last name. Why? Because I could. So I did. Yeah. I didn't write down that name, King Kalanchi, because, no, I didn't write down Tony Bennett. Didn't write down Tony Bennett, because that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Jay Wright's not going to happen. I wrote down this name. I will give you this. I wrote down Rick Pitino, because so many of you keep saying Rick Pitino. It's not going to happen. Will we do a Rick Pitino episode just for the flippin' hell of it? You're goddamn right. You are goddamn right we're going to do a Rick Pitino episode. Why? Because I already edited a graphic for it where he looks fantastic and he's staring at the owl and it's a whole thing. Is Quadir on my list? He's not, but he should be. He's not, but he should be. Oh, man. Oh, TG Gatton, whatever your name is, for running off Adam. No, they wouldn't have run off Adam if he actually spent any freaking money. If Adam Weitzman spent as much money on this damn program as people think he did, Syracuse would not be in the mess they're in right now. Ugh. Do I think Red resigns in his own pre-ACC tourney? I still don't think, like, if I am Red's advisor, I would advise him against resigning unless it comes with an absolute ironclad settlement that he gets the rest of his money. An absolute ironclad settlement that he gets the rest of his money. Yeah, I got Richard Pitino on the list. I don't think he'll get the job either. Xavier's not so hot this year, but there we are. Hodgson, yeah, I don't necessarily like the cut of his jib, but he's on the list. He's on the damn list. Oh, I got a list. It's right here. List. I can't show you the list. It's a secret list. I've said about half the list, but it's a secret. And, it's programming, man. It's February 2nd. The groundhog saw his damn shadow this morning. 6 more weeks of coaching search. I think that's what they were doing in Punxsutawney. It was 1 degree out at 7:30 this a.m. It's hard to keep on track of these things. We got to draw this out a little bit. Like, I know y'all want Red gone yesterday, but it doesn't matter when he's gone. You're still not getting the next guy until sometime in March. So we gotta slow this up and take our time to it. Yeah, we all saw what Weitzman was contributing there. I'm holding it. It's right here. Got it in my fist. Oh man, Jay Lucas. I like Jay Lucas. I don't think Miami would agree with you wanting to take him away, Dan. I'll say this, like the whole Weitzman thing, which we've talked about way, way, way too much. Yeah, Bill Rapp was a big time contributor back in the day. Shout out Bill Rapp. Yeah, when Weitzman the Weitzman thing is so weird because who knows the guy's financial deal? He sold a lot of property and planes and houses and stuff recently, which one generally doesn't do if things are going great. He's giving some money, to my understanding, to Siena. I don't know how much. He gave technically more than $0 to Syracuse. I don't want to say he gave none. That would be incorrect. But the $1 million player, all that stuff, never happened. But in this scenario, let's play out the scenario that Mike Malone, that's a creative name. I hadn't thought of Mike Malone. Creative. Points for creativity, TPC 44. I'm going to guess he'll have an NBA head coaching job whenever he feels like getting back in the mix. But I like what you did there. I like what you did there. But so if Weitzman had beef with the chancellor or something and they never actually met, well, the chancellor's going to be gone. And if Jerry's back, like, is there a scenario in the world where he could go back into giving more than $0? Sure. But let's not bet on that. Yeah, Deasia Fair got money. Like, more than 0 people got money. They just didn't get the kind of money that's bringing, how do you say it? AJ DeBanza? I can't say his last name. To BYU. They're not giving the kind of money, like, what's the game on my TV right now? Kansas and Texas Tech? I don't know what Darren Peterson got to go to Kansas, but Weitzman wasn't slinging that cash around. Weitzman's not slinging the cash around that the entirety of Texas Tech is winging around at every program they got. Texas Tech, thank you for being on my screen right now, Texas Tech, who was in the college football playoff, who's 13th in the country right now in basketball. Texas Tech, in the Women's College World Series last year, had $1 million pitcher. It was a softball game. Like, they got more money than they know what to do with. But, I don't know. Tibbs? I can't imagine Tibbs going to go to college. Like, that'd be a wild experiment. That would be a wild experiment. Tibbs is grind you to death coaching act might actually kind of work in college because the season's not as long. Like, you wouldn't run out of gas. You went to JD Middle with Mike Malone? All right. Yeah, I mean, his dad didn't his dad pass away quasi recently? His dad was an assistant for Boeheim in the early 80s. Oh man, yeah. Recruits are getting big packages with so many passes and free parking to the most. You don't even know, LA Orange. It's wild, the kind of passes they're getting. Yeah, Texas Tech got that oil money and they're spending it on pitching. Jason Hart, who may or may not be on the list. Jason Hart, and we will discuss this at some point down the line, who's next, Mondays and Thursdays, that I keep confusing myself. I have one thing, like I'm teaching class on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm doing this show on Mondays and Thursdays, and I keep conflating what days they are in my head. So far, I've showed up at all the right things at the right time. So there is that. No, Adam did not. I mean, Adam gave more money than most in the grand scheme of everybody in life. Yeah, but in the grand scheme of Syracuse donors, no, he did not. No. Yeah, did Adam Weitzman give more money than my $0? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Did he give way, way less money than a lot of other people that nobody ever talks about? Yeah, he did. That's what one of those awards is up there for yelling about that on the radio last year. Yeah, Derek Coleman needs to coach the big men. Oil's buying a lot of athletes. Thank you, Big Tuna. New friend to the 315. If you want to do what Big Tuna just did, click the $ next to the chat box and you can become a fine member of the channel. The simplest thing you can do right now is if you're not subscribed to the channel, all you lovely people out there right now, click the subscribe button. Click the subscribe button. Just get on the list. We're aiming to get to 1,000 sooner than later. We cruised past 600 the other day, so we're on our way. What's the point of Syracuse Athletics? To tell people to go to the most, Spatch and Louise. To sell some candles. The Lallies, T-Takes, the Lallies have donated, like, a lot of real money. Like, a lot of real money. They're not big NIL people. Their names on the whole freaking building over in the Manly area now. Like, and obviously the Lallies and Weitzman had some weird online stuff. Like, there was a lot of weird stuff going on there. Like, the Lallies have actually donated a crap ton of money. Could they donate more? I think they have started pitching it a little to NIL. I think they're more of football people because John played football than basketball people. But yeah, they're, like, you want to talk about people with actual big piles of money that actually give big piles of money? Like, they are way more involved in any of this than Weitzman is, has, or ever was, or ever will be. Like, it's not even remotely close. Hubert, he has Final Four experience. He has beating Duke on the day Coach K was retiring and making him sit sad in that chair on the court after the game experience. That's pretty good. I've heard that when they talk about the Duke-Carolina rivalry, he gets a tingle. Yes. Calvin Russell's mom has been hooked up with unlimited spicy birdseed. Unlimited. Just don't tell her that we said that because we're not actually giving her unlimited spicy birdseed. We're not going to do that. Remember, I never heard, didn't they do something? It wasn't a tax, LA Orange. They did it was last summer, the summer before. I think it might have been before Fran's first year. There was like, what was it, all Onondaga restaurants or whatever? There was a chance to like round up to whatever and it would donate to NIL. I don't know how much money. Then I have never heard anything of it again. I don't know how much it would actually raise, something like that. I think if you're going to do it, like the place to do it is like when people are in the mood is like round up when you're buying a dome foam, round up when you're buying a dome dog, right? Like you have already shown that you are there for a Syracuse sporting event. Tony Bland's out? All right, there we go. Get the band back together. Like, round up when you're at the dome. Now, how much money does that raise? I don't know. You're nickeling and diming it instead of, millioning and billioning it. But it's not nothing, right? It's not nothing. I've always think you got to, like, there's already stuff added onto tickets now that's technically going to NIL. And then the rules change every, 78 seconds, so who knows. Again, link pinned top of the chat if you'd like to join the program here. This is a post-game show, so I'm told, for Syracuse and North Carolina. Did that game happen tonight? I don't know. Did that game happen tonight? Syracuse lost by 10. They were down by 30, and that's kind of the whole story on that. Are Dome Dogs Hoffmans? I believe so. Yeah, they're Hoffmans, right? Aren't they? Dome Dogs are Hoffmans. Matt NY's all in on Mike Malone? Sure. What percentage of total NIL would a roundup program account for? Yeah, it would be a small number, Weeze. It's a way that... Here's what it would do. Here's what something like that would do. Like, for us, I'm going to say, I don't know, raise your hand if you donate significant to NIL here. I'd imagine most people here are not NIL donors, or if they are, they're very small. Like, that's... to a majority of people, to get asked for that money over and over again, the amount of just alum donation stuff I get from Syracuse that goes straight back into the recycling bin or trash can. I mean, it's just do not pass go, get in the trash bin, which reminds me, I did not gather up the trash, and tomorrow morning is trash day. That's for later. That's a post-show situation. But So, like, if you're a fan, are you going to create, like, a thing where you're donating $5 a month or $10 a month? Like, what are you more likely to do? That, or if you're at the Dome, at concessions, hey, would you like to round your purchase up to X to donate to NIL? Like, I think you're way more likely to do that. Yeah, you can get Hoffman's online. Hoffman's is fantastic. Got some Hoffman's mustard in the fridge right now. It's like a horseradish Hoffman's mustard. It's good. I should reach out to Hoffman's. Not a sponsor, but we'd like if they were. You're delicious, Hoffman's. We love you. We'd eat you. We wouldn't eat anything from Wild Birds Unlimited. That would be unseemly. It would either be birdseed. There's no actual birds there, so it would just be mostly birdseed. Yeah, Carrier. Carrier can slick some cash. I said this on my show a few years ago, back when that show used to exist. This was when the Micron stuff first got announced. And when NIL was really first being like, oh, this is really going to happen right now. And I'll believe it still now. Syracuse's best path toward contending in all this stuff again is for Micron as an institution to decide that they want to care about Syracuse sports. Like, if Micron is an institution, it's like, you know what? Let's support Syracuse sports. That'll engender some good thoughts and feelings in the community that we're going into and doing all this stuff. Now, do I think they're actually going to do this? No, because what does Micron actually care about Syracuse sports? They're churning out chips for your phone and your car and everything else on planet Earth. But if Micron does everything they claim they're going to do, and also then just peeled off like, 0.110111% or whatever they got, and we're like, here's NIL for Syracuse sports, like, that's how you do it. And that's what's happening in Texas, except the Microns of Texas are oil fields. That's what's happening there. Like, that's what's happening to St. John's, except the Microns of St. John's just happen to be a bajillionaire. Like, that's what's happening to these programs. They have broken ground, Dustin. They did a groundbreaking thing last week, so it's guaranteed to happen now. Guaranteed to happen now. The Carrier family said they would have donated to NIL if SU left their name up on the Dome. What chancellor? Oh, is Haney in charge of the Micron relationship? All right. Well, I hope he's doing good at it. So if you tell me, like, Mike Haney, who is like the vice chancellor right now, if you're telling me he's in charge of the Micron relationship, I don't know Mike. I know of Mike, but I don't know. Micron's a U.S. company, right? Or do they also have plants in South Korea? I don't know. But they're opening chip plants like in multiple places in America. Aren't they the biggest chip maker? It's like them and Intel are the two biggest chip makers in America. Am I wrong on that? My chip making research is lagging. But I mean, Dino Barbecue NIL. There's only so much NIL a restaurant can put out. Like, Dino's a big restaurant conglomerate. They're making pulled pork. Like, they're not sitting on scads of millions of dollars just to give out. They're a restaurant. Like, even successful restaurants aren't running on the largest of margins. Shout out to Dino. Yeah, they're a U.S. company. That's why the whole thing, it was the U.S. money and the chip and Idaho's and factories and whatever. Making the stuff we need to literally run everything in our lives these days, like to turn on our cars and pick up our phones and all the stuff one does. So assuming any of that ever actually happens, like, if they decide as an institution, but it would be weird. Like, they're not a Syracuse-based company, though they sort of are at that point. Like, I don't know. The comparison I make... Oh, yeah, Dom, we can take a call. The comparison I make is FedEx, famously located in Memphis, headquartered in Memphis. They are donating FedEx, which is not, very large institution. I saw like 15 FedEx trucks, just out and about in the queues today. Had a very long conversation with Max because some of the FedEx trucks, the X is in orange, some is in green. Like, we looked up what the different colors mean. They mean different things. Who knew? But FedEx is donating $5 million a year to Memphis NIL. At least they were a couple of years ago. So large institutions such as that can do that. Yeah, I'm not saying Micron isn't giving back. Like, Micron, when they initially said they were coming here 3 years ago, like, one of the first things they did, to Jen's point, is they donated a few piles of money to local school systems. I know Liverpool, because they're right there, got a decent pile of stuff to go get various technology things. Yeah, like why do you think Calipari went to Arkansas when he left Kentucky? To T-Takes' point, like Walmart and I think it's Purdue Chicken are donating a ton of money to Arkansas NIL. As much as people said initially that NIL was about like everybody chipping in and helping out, it's not. It's not. Like the little people chipping in is great if you want to feel good and feel like you're a part of it or whatever, but you need major money coming from either individuals or corporations or something to fund this stuff these days. I don't know the answer to that, Jen. I don't know. Yeah, they could donate Wilson the volleyball. FedEx could. He's lost at sea, Randy. That's it. Too soon. Too soon, Randy. R.I.P. Wilson. Lost at sea. He floated away and was never seen again. And it's sad, Randy. It's the saddest thing that has ever happened to a volleyball. Quite literally. I don't think anything possibly sadder could have happened to like it would be impossible, I think, for something sadder to happen to a volleyball than what happened to poor Wilson. Oh, those many moons ago. That's closing on 30 years ago that Wilson underwent that tragedy. We're closing on 3 decades of Wilson being lost somewhere in the Pacific. All right, hang on. Let's take a call here. We've got a call. We're going to have a disappointed caller here for a lot of reasons. A, Syracuse lost, and B, he was going to go to the game, and then the weather did not allow that here tonight. So sadness all around here. For our first guy up tonight. It's our guy Dom down in North Carolina. What's up, man?
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Doing well. Sorry you couldn't get to the game tonight. That's, well, maybe not sorry based on how it went, but I know you were looking forward to it, so that's unfortunate.
Me and the family, we're all looking forward to it. We've never actually all 6 or 7 of us, if you include my daughter's boyfriend who's a Tar Heel fan. Yeah, so we've never actually all been to a game together.
I suppose we could include him if we have to, like if you're willing to, well, we will. But yeah, like what the storm down there couldn't get to Chapel Hill. Is that what happened?
So the center of the state got nothing, and Charlotte got about a foot, and us here in eastern North Carolina, where the Pirates are, we got about 13 inches, which just debilitate us. Like the city and county only have like 6 snowplows for 700 square miles. So it's our neighborhood just got plowed today, and it snowed Saturday night. So that's just how. Yeah.
Yeah. Like us up here in Syracuse obviously have no idea about a lack of plows. They're just everywhere all the time, no matter what we do. No matter what we do, Dom, they're all around.
So, well, I just want to talk. I watched the game tonight, and this team just baffles me. I don't understand them. They are bipolar, and there's times where they just play absolutely like lights out, and there's ball movement, and there's scoring, and then there's just the longest droughts, and along those droughts, there's just droughts of bad defense. And what actually, Syracuse fans, what you saw in the second half after about the 10 or 11 minute mark, or 11 or 10 minute mark, however you want to look at it, is why Tar Heel fans want Hubert Davis fired, because they don't think he can coach either. So that team was absolutely person for person better than us. Like their best player is better than our best player, and so far, like down the line, and they should have beat us by 30 just because of those lapses. Like it's just mental IQ lapses and just bad passes, rushing and not trusting their skill level, and then all of a sudden when they finally do, they play great, and it's it was just odd. And then Red, here's where I question Red's coaching. Okay, as a coach myself, because I've coached baseball on and off since 1998, from little league level all the way up to high school and travel baseball. If you can't communicate what you're trying, like I know that I know baseball, but can I communicate with them to get them to do what they need to do to win or to get better? I don't know if Red knows how to do that, because he's been coaching long enough between Virginia Tech and here. He's got to know basketball. So what is it that he can't get to these players to because he wants them to play the way that the Tar Heels played tonight. Fast and in-your-face defense. Like, I saw kind of the same things. We're just not good at it. And one time when the first time he had Suarez in, it was like the B team. That's when we made that first push, and we're only down by 2.
Mm-hmm.
Why then did he go ahead and all of a sudden I see Kyle going to the scorer's table? I'm like, why are you bringing him in? Suarez playing great. Like, what is going on? Like, keep this team has flow on defense and offense, and we're only down by 2. Why are you switching it up now? And that's where I question what he's doing, on top of why is the team not getting what he is selling them.
Yeah.
Not that they don't play hard for him. They're not doing what he's teaching them. So that's the coaching deficiency right there. And just the wacky things. Hey, these 5 guys are playing great. Let me go put the guys that weren't really playing great back in.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I'd say, and again, it's unfair to him that he's following Boeheim, but that's the way of the world he is. Like, Boeheim had a very intrinsically good sense, right, Dom, of who to put in the game and when to put them in the game. Like, it was just something that he was on top of and he knew how to do. And to the other point, it feels like every time we hear Red talk after the game, it's he's baffled or confused at why the guys didn't do X. And X isn't always the same thing, right? But to your point, it's always something. Or it's like, well, they moved on Saturday. Why didn't they move today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, but that among the jobs of the head coach, that is like apex most important to, if the guys have strayed from the path, to get them back on the path while the game is happening. And to your point, Dom, it's just not a major part of his skill set right now, which I think is a lot of reason these games have, what he calls dips, why they go good and they go bad, because they can't stay on a straight path for a while.
Yeah. Now, when I say this, I don't want all of your listeners to think that I'm crazy. I'm not comparing Red to Ted Williams.
Okay.
Not in 1,000 years. But Ted Williams had a small stint in coaching. I don't know if many people know this.
It didn't go great.
He was not good. So you think to yourself, well, the best hitter in baseball ever, last person hit 400. And probably one of the best fighter pilots ever in our U.S., Army or Air Force or Navy, however you want to look at it. But it was Department of Army back then. He could not run a team, no. And he even said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm too good. I can't communicate to them like what I just don't understand what they can't do what I could do. And so that's just not being a good communicator. And it doesn't mean that you don't know sports. It doesn't mean that you're not a good guy. He has to learn how to communicate with his players. There's some players that he may be able to just do what he's doing now and communicate to them and they know what they're doing. But you could be the best player at Syracuse. You could be the best assistant coach. But head coach, it's different. It really is. And I feel for the guy because, he's orange through and through. And, except for that small stint at Virginia Tech. And, nobody wants to be asked to leave. And I feel bad for him. I mean, and I don't want the guy fired, but something has to happen because I don't think that we could be successful with a coach that doesn't know how to communicate. So.
Yeah, and that, well said, Dom, because, there's whatever the reasons are now, like we've just seen enough of it, it's not getting better. It's not getting better. Yeah, Ted Williams was he the Washington Senators manager back in the day? They were not good. And then he became like the best fly fisherman on planet Earth. Ted Williams and now his head's frozen somewhere in Arizona. Ted Williams had a lot going on. There's a lot going on with Ted Williams.
When I first started getting into coaching, I wanted to really teach hitting, so I bought his book, and I think I read the first 4 pages of it, and it's sitting on my bookshelf right now.
There we go. He couldn't even write a book about hitting.
It was so far above any level that I could ever imagine comprehending that it was just, no, I can't do this. So.
All right. Well, there we go. All right, Tom. Always good to hear from you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, there is our guy Dom down in North Carolina. Unfortunately, he was planning on going to the game, but the weather made that impossible tonight down there. And yeah, I think Dom encapsulated a lot of that, right? Like with Red, it feels like a lot of it. Like, why are the post-game press conferences always so just bizarre and all over? That's a communication thing, right? A lot of people are like, oh, he's dumb. Red's not dumb. Like, he's not an idiot. It's just something's getting lost in translation from point A to point B. And it's happening in a lot of different scenarios. I'd say if everyone on the team just chilled out with a bird feeder, some time at the most, maybe looking at the skies in the planetarium, and a nice scented candle from Simply Sweet Sisters, then, to quote Dino Babers, we could all have a nice little kumbaya moment and just get a little relaxed with the whole thing. Well, speaking of bird feeders and bird cameras and birds in general, why does my account log me out? I was logged in yesterday. The computer's still on. Like, why would I ever want to log out of my bird feeder? It's a ridiculous thought that I would ever want to log out of my bird feeder, because we always need to be ready to talk about our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Magic Johnson, Wayne Gretzky, they were horrible coaches. Who do we want as our Wild Birds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game? Donnie Freeman obviously had the best game for Syracuse statistically, if we're going to pick somebody in the orange. When Syracuse was down 32, I was pondering all sorts of ideas for player of the game, like Syracuse plows snow better than North Carolina, if that can be like a player of the game. Things like that. And then they come back and they only lose by 10. Like, it's a blowout that wasn't a blowout. That's a blowout that wasn't a blowout, but it was absolutely a blowout, even though it maybe wasn't a blowout. That all makes sense. I think who triggered the run in the final 6? That's a good question. Who triggered the run in the final 6 minutes? Does anybody know? Was anybody actually really paying attention to note who triggered the run toward the end of the game? I don't know. Like, I looked up and it was like 32. I'm like, oh, look at that. They were within 19. Good for them. That's neat. Was anybody paying attention at that point of the game to know who triggered the run? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's what we'll do, Randy. On the graphic, I'll just go Donnie Freeman, write his stats, and we'll just write, I guess Freeman is fine, whatever. Because I got 2 lines on the graphic I made, and the second line sometimes has pithy comments. Soiree was cheeky today. He had a season-high 6. Yeah. He had that one play. It was a nice little play with Nate George. Did a little, like, boop, and then he did a little bit of that. Soiree triggered the run. Oh, that's what you guys are saying? Soiree triggered the run? It was Noah Lobdell and his sweet cash. All right, so Donnie Freeman for his first half, and because I guess Freeman is fine, whatever. Or Soiree. I need to look. Yeah, I don't. None of it. The NIL money is not allowed to be performance-based because they're not getting paid for play. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. They're not getting paid for play. They're just getting paid. It happened to be playing. Yeah, that was a whole, that broadcast was, somebody go give Dave O'Brien a hug. Jay Williams was on one. Soiree started the comeback. Soiree for starting the pointless-ish comeback, or Donnie Freeman because he was the best player, or whatever. Man, it is rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, naming our wild bird. This is the longest debate we've ever had. I just don't. Soiree probably won't get another shot. I mean, anyone can get a shot here down the stretch, Jen. We're going to be grasping at all the straws that we have. The chat room is the player of the game. Yeah, the chat, outstanding as always. You guys have been hanging in significant volume for a long time this evening. All right, Soiree, what the hell? Why not? Because it's my award. It's my sponsor. We can do whatever we want. Fire up a poll. It's kind of late to fire up the poll. I'd have to type, and I kind of want to say, and now we're a little late for the poll. We're doing a straw poll. Screw it. Akira Soiree, congrats to you. You're a Wild Birds Unlimited player of the game because you, so I'm told, I wasn't paying attention at the time, sparked with your energy, hairdo, and fantastic appearance, and effort, and enthusiasm for life unknown. You sparked this run back in the game from getting absolutely crushed to barely covering the spread. Akira Soiree, our Wildbirds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. Wildbirds Unlimited will be open at 10 a.m. in the morning at both their locations at the Fayetteville Town Center and in Camillus. They're open till 6. Stop on out and see them there. There we are. You go, Akir Soiree. Our Wildbirds Unlimited Big Air Player of the Game. It's dark in the backyard. Why? Because we've zoomed past 10:15 at night, and I think it was a poorly reffed game. Man, when you're down by 32, I don't have the heart to really dig into the refs too much. Who do you have tonight? Bert Smith, Lee Cassell, and Tony Henderson? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I hated the way the game was. Like, all right, once it was 32-point game, if you wanted to start looking ahead to Duke and Carroll, I get it. Jay Williams was framing the game that way from the opening tip. It was insufferable. When it's a 32-point game, while it's annoying for a Syracuse fan, like from the opening tip, that's how they were framing the game. Like Syracuse wasn't even getting crushed yet. Like, give it a minute. Like, they're going to get crushed. Give them time. Like, can we at least tell the story of this game before we tell the story of the game 6 days from now? Like, I know Duke and Carolina, it's generally an exciting game and whatnot, and usually it's, generally appointment television. Because of that, the Jay Williams, I don't want to watch that game. Screw that. I don't want to deal with that. Like, if that's what the whole game's going to be like, even with them on the TV, I don't want that. That's just nonsense. That's just nonsense. I don't want to deal with that. So, there you are. Jay Williams, not the Wildbirds Unlimited Big Air player of the game. Not at all. Okay, any other business? The game before the game. Syracuse is like, no, it's just kind of the game. Like, our next game is against Virginia. That's a fact, Michael Antonio. That is a fact. That's a fact. Like, if you are anybody that would apply to anybody 50 and younger? Like, what's the age we got to get to where this is the most boring stretch of Syracuse basketball in your lifetime? I mean, it's a minimum into your 50s. They made the Final Four in 76. That was 50 years ago. 75, 51 years ago. Yeah. I'm 43 for a few more days. Like, there we go. Yeah. No further questions, Patching the Way. Shall we bring this to a close? Oh, no, people are giving money. We can hang. That was true. That did happen. It's one of those things where when you're down by 32, Jimbo, that while that was terrible, you just kind of forget about it. Yeah, he really traveled a lot. He really traveled a lot. So much traveling. But it's one of those things, like if this was a real basketball game, you get angry about it. You were 6 years old for the 75 Final Four, Michael Antonio? Okay. You're giving up your age here. I can do that math. I can add those numbers together if we feel like it. Mine is the 6th, Big Tuna. I'm the day after you. How about that? We got the end of the week covered. Me and Big Tuna. New friend of the 315. Happy birthday to you in advance. Come back on your birthday, Big Tuna, because on your birthday, as my present to you, Big Tuna 4984, we are going to do our next Who's Next segment on the next Syracuse basketball head coach. So, Big Tuna, as my birthday present to you right now, if you want to suggest a suggestion for the next coach we should focus on in Who's Next on Thursday, I will take it under strong advisement. If you would like to suggest the next coach to be featured on Who's Next on Thursday, on your birthday, on February the 5th, 2026. We've done Jerry and Matt Langle so far. So if you would like to make a suggestion that I already happen to have on my list, or that is reasonable, we can take that under advisement as my birthday present to you, the newest friend of the 315. Hodgson? All right. He's on the list. We were going to get to him sooner than later. We can do that there. As my present to you, Big Tuna. Spoiler alert, for all of you that have stayed with us now well past an hour of this post-game show, we'll do Brian Hodgson for Who's Next Thursday for Big Tuna's birthday. So for Big Tuna, I'm going to write this down. Big Tuna birthday to 5. It's written on the pad. And once it's on the pad, it has to stay there because I wrote it in pen. And there's no way to get it off. So we'll do that on Thursday. Upcoming broadcasts Wednesday night, me, Jordan, Transfer Portal Syracuse, TPS Report. Our 16th is coming up Wednesday night at 8. Thursday morning at 11 in the a.m. here in the Eastern Time Zone, we will have our next, live in the 315, our next edition of Who's Next? As we look for Red Archer's replacement. And spoiler alert, we will be talking about current USF head coach of the Bulls, Brian with a Y, which is suspicious beyond all belief, Hodgson. So, with that, I think we talked about the game that happened tonight. Maybe. I don't know. We never seem to in post-game shows anymore. But, that's okay. Tully's? Is Tully sitting on a few mil? Donate that Tenders money? Honey mustard money? That honey mustard cash. You don't even know. Syracuse lost tonight, 87-77. I guess we'll wrap up the show with the final score. All right, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Have a good night. Social media, all that stuff tomorrow. Today's Who's Next with Matt Langle will be out there on YouTube. And we'll be back with you live Wednesday nights at 8.
Thanks for watching the 315 with Brian Higgins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. We'll see you next time.